everyone, welcome to my first ever Vlogmas, Covemas, Animal Crossmas, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I'm doing it. If you're not already familiar with the concept of Vlogmas, basically I've committed to posting a video every single day for the whole month of December. Am I going to regret it? Probably. Will I be drained mentally, emotionally, and physically? I think that's likely. With all of that said, I hope you do enjoy these videos and you are able to celebrate the first Covemas, Animal Crossmas, Vlogmas, whatever we're calling it. I don't know. I don't think it should have a name. The name is a crazy attempt to put out a lot of content this month. But I'm so excited because my very first video for this month is a collaboration with one of the sweetest, most amazing Animal Crossing creators, LEX. She's also committing to putting out a lot of content this month too, so I'm gonna make sure that she is linked in the description box and the pinned comment, all that good stuff. Please go give her some love. Watch her video that's a part of this collaboration. But before I really dive into what the heck we're even doing, let's go ahead and let's go see Miss LEX on my island. All right, everyone. I know I already told y'all who I'm collabing with in this intro. She really doesn't need a second introduction because she is Animal Crossing royalty and fame. It is LEX.
Hello.
Hi, Lex. Thank you again for collaborating with me. Do you want to tell everyone what we're doing? It's actually pretty similar to what we did last time when we collabed.
Yeah, so today we are going to be making a vacation home for Jingle, our favorite little reindeer guy, to kind of celebrate the holiday season.
Yay! I can't wait. I have been wanting to make more NPC vacation homes, and honestly, I haven't since the last time you and I made a video for Daisy May and Joan, and I'm so excited. And this time, no rules. We're kind of just being let off our leashes.
Yeah, it's like a holiday gift. No challenge.
No challenge. Negative challenge, just making a cute home for Jingle. And I honestly don't even know what I'm gonna do. Is it going to be on the nose, or is it going to be something totally different? We're gonna find out. I'm excited to see what you make. And everyone, please go check out what Lex ends up building for Jingle. I'm sure it's going to be phenomenal. I need to figure out what in the world I'm gonna make.
You said on the nose, like Rudolph.
Lex, how very holiday-y of you.
I know, I'm vibing.
Well, I can't wait to see what you make. Yeah, everyone go check out what Lex does. And then I guess we'll just go ahead and fly over to Happy Home Paradise and we're just gonna wing it. Look at him. Oh my goodness. There is something so special about the NPC amiibo cards, and what a cool feature that Happy Home Paradise Happy Home Paradise gave to us during the 2.0 update. I love that not only can we see some NPCs that are in New Horizons, but a lot of the NPCs that are not in New Horizons, and we can actually build vacation homes for them. I just think that's so cute. I remember even before the DLC came out, I thought it would be so cool if everyone made like a room inspired by Isabelle or a room inspired by Celeste. And then of course, Happy Home Paradise comes out and it just answered all of those dreams and even some more. And as you can see, I picked for Jingle a snowy place. I mean, look, I was tempted for a second to do something like ultra foresty, maybe even something set in the spring or summertime just to be a little bit different. But I think I just need to face my fear of snow in this game. Like, I play my Animal Crossing save file in July pretty much 9 times out of 10. Like, sometimes I'll move to August, you know, but my grass is usually green. I kind of stay away from the snow, at least whenever I can. And I feel like, hey, it is time. If anything, it's past due for me to actually embrace the snow. And you know what? I wanted a little hint of the holidays in this build, and you'll definitely see with the interior. But for the exterior, I was like, let's give Jingle a true log cabin. Like, I didn't even really want to make it super Toy Day inspired, but rather almost like a super rustic log cabin where woodworking was kind of at the forefront of making toys. So that's why I have, of course, a bunch of the cedar trees. I'm grabbing some logs, some of these brown crates right here. And I wanted it to feel almost like a getaway for Ron Swanson in Parks and Rec, if that makes sense. I wanted it to be way more rustic than like actually festive. And then on the inside, I kind of ended up mirroring that, but that's what you can see here. And I also, if I can remember to, I'm going to do my best. I'll put the custom codes that I'm using in the description box, but if I fail to remember and they're not there and you want to use them, then I've pinned all of them on my Pinterest. So that link is definitely in the description box. Feel free to go follow me on the Pinterest. I always get super inspired by what people are sharing on there, whether it be custom codes, full builds, interiors, exteriors, whole islands. I mean, it just blows my mind how creative people are. And I did want to add at least a few bushes and flowers to this build, but I didn't love the way that the holly looked, so I just got rid of that. I figured it looked a little bit more natural, just having a couple of different leafy greens covered in snow. So yeah, I feel like the festive toy day elements, at least in the exterior of this home, pretty much solely is on those cedar trees with the sparkly lights, but you know what, it's just a hint, and that's all I wanted. I wanted the rest of it to feel like pretty rustic, pretty natural. And I imagine this whole house to be a secondary residence, almost like where Jingle comes to work, where he crafts toys, where he has like a little bit of leisure time, but it's a secondary home, and his primary home is probably a lot more, you know, homey, a little less workstation-y. But as you can see, I'm placing a couple of pieces of wood, and then of course the chainsaw, as if, you know, he's chopping down trees, catching bees, all the Animal Crossing things. And I liked the way it started to look. I was really struggling with the space on the left-hand side here. I didn't really know what to put back there. And then I realized, you know what, let's just fill it up with a little bit more green, see if that looks nice. And it ended up working out pretty nicely. I feel like I haven't used these topiaries too terribly often. Oh wow, that's a fun tongue twister. Topiaries too terribly often, but I like the way it looked. And then sprinkled in just a little bit of this fencing to give some depth, some dimension. And all the colors started to really tie together, and I started to get excited. Now, as you can see right here, I'm playing with the idea of just having a couple of these festive trees out and about, you know, just to give it a little bit more brightness, a little bit more appeal to, you know, the whole Toy Day Jingle theme. And I did like it. And then of course I just went through and scattered weeds everywhere to fill up the ground a little bit, but I was super happy with how this exterior ended up looking. Of course, we'll take another sneak peek at the end, but let's go ahead and move on to this interior. And at first I was like not sure what I was wanting to do here, but I figured let's keep the theme of Jingle being like a super woodworker. He's very hands-on with the toy making. Maybe he's the one that executes everything from A to Z, and he doesn't have like help, you know, like how Santa has elves or anything like that. But Jingle is, he's a one-man show, a one-man shop. So I started playing with that idea and making this interior like a really old toy factory. So something that feels really antiquated in many ways, but still festive. So lots of neutrals, a few pops of like primary colors maybe here and there. And then these gears, I totally forgot about these wall hanging gears because I knew that there were the standing ones. But when I saw these, I was like, okay, we're gonna have some movement. It's definitely gonna feel a little bit more like a factory. So I just started grabbing kind of anything and everything that looked along that vein. Also, can I just say, I realized whenever I started this whole build that I hadn't originally crafted most of the Toy Day items, which in Happy Home Paradise, in order to use DIYs in your builds, you have to at least craft everything one time. So if I wanted to use, for example, the festive trees that I put outside a second ago, I had to have at least crafted it once in order to have it cataloged for Happy Home Paradise. So I definitely went to a treasure island and got ornaments and got the DIYs, made sure I crafted every single like winter or holiday type of item before even conducting this build. But I ended up using a lot more basic items. I mean, I do use a few, but as you can see, I'm kind of creating a little factory, like a shipping station right here. I was definitely inspired by AJ's Island, which I believe, if I'm timing this right, it would have gone out yesterday. It is an abandoned cardboard box kidcore island, and so I kind of went crazy with the cardboard boxes. But I mean, I really like the way that this ended up turning out. Now, what you're seeing me do here is I'm grabbing just like a whole bunch of tables, desks, and I wanted to compartmentalize this whole workshop into stations, almost as if there's clearly a station for packing everything into gift boxes, gift bags, but I also wanted a station for like woodworking, which I guess would be like the DIY bench, and then a station for painting the toys, or if it's a stuffed animal or a teddy bear, then having a station for like sewing fabric. So I tried to be intentional with what each place was. And then I noticed this started to look like very much like a sweatshop a little bit. So I'm adding a little bit of festivities right here with the tree, with the presents. But the color was a little too bright for me. Like with those presents, I ended up choosing this kind of like neutral color. I feel like it fits that kind of rustic vibe a little bit more accurately. But then of course with the trees, I let that be the green. I let the green kind of speak for itself. But with all of these wooden toys, I liked just the hint of the primary colors, like on the rocking horse, how it has that like blue, that red. So everything does kind of tie together, and it's clearly like a happy toy factory, but I wanted it to feel antique and old school and all that. Now, let me forewarn everyone too, this room is cluttered. Like, it is cluttered. I made sure that pretty much no area went uncovered, except for maybe a little bit on the middle or bottom right, but it is meant to be like stuffed full. We're talking, this is operations Christmas Eve night, and I kind of went crazy. I went a little cluttercore on this room, which is not usually my style, but I feel like for you, in order to have the hustle and bustle feeling of this little workstation and factory, it kind of has to be a little bit cluttered. I also liked the moving parts, so that way it really feels like it's about to be Christmas. It's about to be Toy Day, and Jingle he's working his little tail off. Let's just say that. Also, when selecting all of these toys that I'm placing, I tried to be very intentional about choosing 90% of them that are a little bit like more old school, you know, like the teddy bear, like the baseball glove, like the clacker cart, the ring toss, things that are a little bit older and, you know, clearly could be workshopped here. But then of course, like the robot, I threw that in there, or like the cars on the track. Oh my goodness, I remember many a Christmases where my older brother would get those little race car track things. What are they called? Hot Wheels. Hot Wheels. Hello, Katie. They're Hot Wheels. And it was always so much fun. I would try and like put my like Polly Pockets on the cars. I would tape them to them, and then they would just fly off. They weren't meant to be Indy 500 or NASCAR drivers, but didn't we all do that? Or like, you know, with Connects, if you remember Connects, and then obviously Legos, buildings like a house for my Beanie Babies. Somehow the toys always like cross-contaminate one another. It's just like Toy Story. So you can see here kind of the stations coming together a little bit. Like obviously with the boxes back there, we have, of course, the packing station where the robotic arm would be. And then we have a painting station over here on the right hand side with those primary colors, all the paint back on that side with the clacker cart and the toys, which is so convenient that it matches the paint that's in the actual buckets. I did love that. It's very handy. And then for the little area with the stuffed animals, you know, I wanted to have something there to look like, you know, something was being sewn. The sewing machine, there were a couple of options. I ended up going with like just this little sewing product and the smaller sewing machine. Yeah, I feel like the antique sewing machine would have looked nicer, but you can't place items on it, which is so incredibly frustrating. And then I forgot that you could actually drop some wrapping paper. I even just threw a few ornaments on the ground and, you know, like a pine cone here and there. Why not? If Jingle is working in the yard during the day, maybe he tracks in an acorn or pine cone or two into the actual workspace. Or maybe he's making an ornament, you know? Who knows? And then I wanted to adjust the lighting just enough. And I realized my lighting wasn't working like I wanted it to. So I did do a little bit of dusting, just add some sparkle here and there. But in order to get the precise lighting, I realized I had to go outside and then change it to nighttime out here. And that is how I got the effect inside that I wanted. Now this was like slightly too dark for me, so I did change it just a little bit, but see now how cozy it is? Oh my gosh, it's so funny how even when you change the weather outside, it affects what is happening indoors. So if you didn't know that little trick, now you know. Oh, and Lex and I were super ambitious with this little collaboration because we said, let's do an upstairs too. Last time we did not do that. And I kind of wanted to give it a shot, you know? I was debating back and forth as I was throwing this together. Am I gonna make this like a bedroom? And then I decided, no, okay, if downstairs is the workshop where Jingle is jangling, then I want upstairs to be like a pub or a restaurant or a place where maybe if he has helpers, the workers can come and enjoy like a happy hour or celebrate immediately after a hard day's work. So I started to create this kind of like cozy restaurant. I still wanted to have a very similar vibe of what is going on downstairs in terms of it being like rustic and a little bit cabiny, but still cool, like still posh. It's not as Toy Day-esque. It's very much just like it's a restaurant. I also had to put a jukebox and, you know, make sure that we had a little bit of music playing in here. Downstairs, I have stale cupcakes playing, but in here, I put KK Funk. I thought it would be a little bit more of like a chill vibe, something that's a little bit more hip and happening, but since this is a little spot for Jingle and his workers to come and hang out, I love how I'm saying he has workers now to hang out with, when earlier I was like, he's a one-man show, he does everything. I don't know. It could be either, right? But where Jingle and maybe just his friends can come and hang out after the holidays or even during the holidays. So we still have a big pile of presents. Maybe it's like for Secret Santa or White Elephant. And I have to know, do you call it White Elephant or like Dirty Santa? It's the game where essentially you bring in under $20 a gag gift, and then you each draw numbers to see who opens a gift in a certain order. Do you know the game I'm talking about? And then you can steal certain people's gifts. I've always called it White Elephant, but I know people call it like Dirty Santa, and I think there's another name that some people call it. I don't know. But that's what I kind of imagine that pile of presents to be. Something a little less serious and a little more silly. And of course, had to put a couple of bottles back here. I think Jingle has a good old time. You know, he is a hard worker, even though he does forget about wrapping paper year after year after year after year and asks for our help. He still deserves to clock out, you know, have a good happy hour. One of my favorite things in this little build was just picking out what food I was putting on the bar. I ended up going with the New Year's noodles because I figured it was so close to the new year. It only kind of made sense to add it. And then just some other like more moody kind of cabin feeling type of food and beverage. I also want to say this might be one of the first times I used those hanging curtains like that, but I kind of like how they serve as a partition between the entrance to this bar and then the actual bar area itself, so I was kind of happy with it. Maybe I'll end up using them much more frequently. As I was decorating this back wall, even though it only has a few different items, I realized I didn't add too much of anything to that wall downstairs. But you know what? It ended up working a-okay. And then of course, just doing a little bit of sparkle to add to the festive festivities. Yeah, sure. And I ended up doing some smoke around the candles, so it felt like, you know, a little bit more pub-like, a little bit more like a bar. And then here is the final look of that upstairs area. I am actually really, really happy with how this turned out. Even if you got rid of the festive trees and some of like the sparkles and the presents, I still think it makes for like a really decent pub or bar. It's a little bit more modern, it's kind of cool, and I like that it's a place for him to relax. Yeah, I'm so happy with it. And then the outside, I'm super, super pleased with how this turns out. I think it looks like a log cabin, but feels still like Toy Day is right around the corner. And then my favorite has to be this main room. I just love the motion that it has. These items are so much fun to use and ones that I don't use too terribly often. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little build for Jingle. I cannot wait to see what Lex comes up with. Please go make sure to check out what she does. Tell her that I love her. And I hope you guys enjoy the start to Vlogmas. I love each and every one of you. I hope that if you did enjoy this video, you'll subscribe to my channel, and I will make sure to see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.